Hi, this is Ellie with a quick practice really focused on the hips. So hopefully we'll get some good stabilizing and stretch in. So you do need a chair or a footstool of some sort. If you know you're really tight in the inner thighs, in the hips, having something a little bit lower is probably your best bet. And then always nice to have a block or a cushion or something handy nearby, especially to make our little rest time at the end a little bit more comfortable. So we'll start standing. You have the feet about under the hips, maybe a little bit wider. And just start to transition yourself into this time and this place. And your own body and your own breathing. You may choose to leave the eyes open and just soften the gaze for our centering practice, or you may choose to close the eyes. Whatever is going to be more grounding. Don't need to be able to see me moving for the centering practice, so really choose based on what you need. Feeling the room around you, maybe hearing the room around you too. And bringing the awareness to the bottoms of the feet. Feeling the texture or temperature of the mat under your feet. And feel your feet actively pushing into the floor, almost like you're going to leave footprints in your mat. You may notice muscles up the legs starting to engage as we really turn the legs on. And so feel into these muscles up the legs, feel what's working to root you down into the earth. And bring the awareness up to the pelvis and just start to rock the pelvis gently forward and back, or you can even circle it. Just finding the pelvis in the body and bringing it into alignment as best we can. So the tailbone isn't way tucked under or way lifted up. You have the natural lower back curve. And then bringing the awareness round front to baby. Feeling sensations on the skin and then deeper in. Bring the awareness back around to the waist. Feel both sides of the waist. Sensations on the skin, all the way up to both sides of the rib cage. And just feel a sense of lengthening up both sides of the waist. Feeling the rib cage lift up. Bringing the awareness to the shoulders. Finding a sense of ease in the shoulders. Feeling the shoulders draw open. Feeling the shoulder blades slide down. You can move the shoulders around, roll them up, back, and down a few times if that helps to find that sense of drape and ease in the shoulders. Bringing the awareness to the neck. This is a place that holds tension for you. Again, just noticing first and then seeing what helps you relax a little bit in the neck, around the jaw, up the back of the head, to the crown of the head. Feel your whole self in this space. this shape. Breathing. Let the breath deepen a little bit here. As you breathe out, come back to that sense of imprinting your footprints into your mat. And then as you inhale, starting to draw energy up the legs, so almost like you're putting on stockings, pulling up the inner and outer edges of the legs all the way up, pulling up both sides of the waist, feeling the neck lengthen up, feeling the crown of the head reaching up as we inhale. As we exhale, feeling that release in the neck and the shoulders, and those legs actively rooting the feet down. So just as the tree draws water and nutrients up from the roots, up the trunk, see the leaves, we're drawing upwards, feeling nourished, feeling open. And as we exhale, relaxing and grounding and rooting back down. Feeling that energy flow in both directions, again, just as the tree, pulling nutrients and water up, sending the energy back down. Feeling the breath, feeling the cycle, feeling strong and grounded here for one more breath. And as you're ready, starting to move in whatever way feels good. Maybe you wiggle around in the legs a little bit, wiggle around in the torso a little bit. Find a little fluidity after doing all that tree trunk work. And then widen those feet up and just start to circle around with the hips. Drawing circles, feeling the rhythm of the movement, feeling the sensations, and adjusting this and everything we do here today as necessary to make it fit your body best. Starting to circle the other way. Maybe you exhale back, inhale forward, or take a whole deep breath out to go around. Good. Coming back to center. All right, so we're finding the feet under the hips. We're standing a little off to the side of the chair. You can have it sort of as far away as possible, but still able to take fingertips to it if we need to steady ourselves for balance. So from here, we'll take the hands to the hips, we'll bend a little bit into the right leg, and just start to swivel the right knee out and back in. So again, feeling that flow of energy, exhaling to ground down through that supporting foot, inhaling to draw up. So we're lengthening out, not sitting into that left supporting leg. Good, so from here, as this knee draws outward, we'll cross the leg behind. So it's sort of like a curtsy shape. You're going to take the toes to the floor, sort of ball of the foot to the floor, getting a little stretch there. We're going to bend both knees. So again, a little bit of curtsy action here. And then push into both legs. And you can either sort of just push back to straight, or if you want to push and lift that right knee, you can. So we inhale as we bend down, we exhale, push the floor away, nice and strong through the legs, maybe coming to that lift. So pelvis is gonna stay pretty steady, and just feeling strength through the legs, really pushing through those heels as we continue to feel the lifted knee or the right knee opening out to the side. Good. So from here, we'll lift that knee and put the foot on whatever your object is, your chair or your footstool. And you want to have sort of like a 90-degree angle, or at least the ankle under the knee. So if it's lower, it might not be a 90, but we want that ankle under the knee. And we don't want to be leaning in or leaning over. As this left, we didn't need the chair. We're nice and settled above the hips. And we're feeling that right knee continue to open out to the side. So you're feeling that glute engaged, pull the leg back and almost hug under a little bit. And we're still pushing the floor away with both feet. So pushing down and almost like you're trying to hug in towards center. So you're feeling that nice, strong, nice strength through the legs and continuing that energy flow. Exhaling to push down, inhaling to pull center and up. So from here, you can stay. If you would like to, you can reach gently over to the side, sort of align the elbow to reach onto the thigh. And you're just going to see what is allowing you the right kind of stretch for this right leg. So having the foot lifted on a chair is a spinning babies technique too during labor, to do a little lunge in and out. And so that's always something that you can also check out. And that's something that you want to do not necessarily before labor, and certainly not when you're later on in pregnancy and baby has already dropped. And even this, if baby's already dropped and this just feels too open, again, taking that foot down lower and certainly not bending in really far. Good, so from here, pushing down, back into the legs again to lift, and then we're gonna lengthen out that right leg. So if you need to scooch a little bit so the foot is still on the chair. And just notice if, again, we're at the right point of stretch for the hamstring inner thigh on that right side. We're flexing that foot and trying not to lock the knee, and having that same sense of pushing down through both feet, hugging in towards center. So it's almost like you're trying to slide that leg back. So you're feeling, especially the back of this lifted leg, both of them firing up. Arms can go wherever you'd like. You can always take them wide for more balance. If you can still reach the chair, use that. Maybe they're up. Good. Exhaling to reach down. Inhaling to lengthen up. Seeing if there's anything that you can let go of in the body, in the mind, any tension that you don't need. And then from there, bending the knee back again, letting the foot come down to the floor, and just feeling both sides for a moment, just feeling how your body feels right now, settling in to sensation. No need to attach any judgment to this. If judgment arises, just notice it and come back to just feeling the actual sensations that are present. And then we'll start to move to the other side. So if you need to move your chair over, I'll show it with just a block so that you can see what the lower version looks like. So again, coming just to 2 feet, standing up nice and tall, pushing down, lengthening up. And then shifting the weight over to that right foot, left knee bends a little bit, and we'll swivel out and in. Hips stay nice and steady, just swiveling in the hip socket. And then from here, again, little curtsy. So crossing the leg behind, taking the toes on the floor. So forced arch, and then we bend both knees and start to push through both legs. And then maybe we lift that leg. So this standing leg can turn out if that helps to align the knee over the foot. Whatever, again, it's going to feel best on that knee. So really feeling some buoyancy here, using the strength of the legs, grounding down to let you lift up. Good. And then next time that knee is lifted, you can take that foot to your block, your chair, whatever it is. Finding the pelvis here, making sure it's not lifting on that left side. Again, ankle under the knee and shoulders over the hips. Pushing down through both legs, hugging in, inhaling to lengthen up, 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 up. Exhaling, we relax and ground down. Arms go wherever they feel best. And then again, moving to lengthen that left leg out, flexing the foot. And again, finding a nice neutral pelvis, pushing both feet out and away, hugging towards center, and lengthening all the way up. Exhaling to ground, inhale to lengthen. Try not to lock either knee. One more big deep breath, letting go of any tension you can. Good, and then from there, sliding back off. We'll move the chair away, move yourself away from the chair. Come to face sort of the short side of your mat space, if there's a mat in that space, and you come in towards the back of it. Just grounding those feet down, feeling yourself nice and tall. And again, checking in, seeing where the body is now, what sensations are lingering from that standing practice. Good. From there, pushing down into those feet, lengthening up, looking up. As we exhale, folding forward with nice strong legs. Knees are a little bit bent. And we're pushing the floor away. Good. Feet go as wide as they need to when you get down here, and you can round and open, sort of cat-cow, or draw circles with the tailbone. Whatever kind of wiggling around feels good here. Here, walking those hands out in front of you, taking the knees down. And take the right foot forward into a little lunge. So we're not very bent bent into the front knee yet. You can sort of judge it for yourself. You can widen the legs up and start to take the weight forward if that feels like where the stretch needs to be for you right now. We're going to start to reach over to this bent knee side, and then you can again keep adjusting as we get here. But before we start, anchoring those legs down. So pushing down, scissoring in towards center, almost like you're trying to drag across the mat. Tailbone might anchor down a little bit more. And then from there, taking the elbow or the forearm to the thigh, reaching up and over to the side. So we have this nice length on both sides of the waist as we inhale, drawing energy up the legs, up both sides of the waist, along this curve of the back and the neck to the crown of the head. And then again, releasing whatever we can, grounding down. Hopefully finding some nice stretch and opening. If there's not a lot going on here, you can always come down a little bit more. So maybe a block catches you, maybe you still can come all the way to the floor, or a block on its short side. Finding an opening sort of in all directions, all the muscles around the hips, trying to work them today. Good. On your next inhalation, feel like there's a rope that you can reach and help pull you back up. Good, and then from here, bending this knee back and taking the other knee forward. And just start to explore on this side, seeing how far forward you need to be. Again, when we're stretching and we're pregnant, we're not trying to go to like the deepest edge here. We're just finding something that feels like it's going to do some good, and we're not trying to overdo it. Good. So you can hang here for a moment, find your anchor, find your buoyancy, and then start to reach up and over. Big deep breaths. Noticing sensations on this side. Letting your focus stay in these sensations and giving this side what it needs. And then from there, again, pushing into both feet. Taking this knee back down. I'm going to try some version of a squat. So I'll show you lots of different options. So if you still have your chair and it's really like heavy and not going to go anywhere or tip over, you can use the back of a chair. You can also use a countertop. There's a little shelf for me to grab here. Sometimes even a doorknob on a closed door can be a nice thing to sort of hang and hold onto. You just want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere and send you toppling. So that's going to be one option I'll show. And then the other thing you want to think about is what kind of support you want under your bottom. So especially if you're further along, it's good to be supported. If you're placenta previa, you might not even want to go here. And again, if you feel like baby has dropped, you're going to keep these squats a little higher. So again, lots of options. First option I'll show is, again, if you want to stay a little higher, you're not going quite so far into this. We'll turn the legs out and fold forward and just start to bend a little bit here, or sort of hold in a flat back little squat. You can also do that with hands on a chair or hands on something. And then other options. If you have something you can hold on to, even your partner's hands, if they're well steadied, can feel really good. You can sort of start to hang your fingertips on the back of the chair or the shelf, countertop, and start to squat from there. So knees are reaching out to the sides. They're in line with the feet. So if there's not aligned, you're going to change your whole turnout of your legs until that does happen. And we don't want the tailbone way under. So just like everything else, tailbone is back behind us. If you find that your heels are way up off the floor, just take a little towel under there so that your heels can anchor. And again, having something to sit on down here, a block, a bolster, a pillow, can be really nice. So play around, just explore, and find something find a position that allows you to settle a little bit for a few breaths. somehow also have the option to let the forehead rest. Of course, do it. And feel one last deep breath moving through your body in this pose. Good. To come out. Maybe you push into your hands and your legs and stand back up. Maybe you bring your bottom to the floor, slide your knees over to the side. And we'll end today in child's pose. So, again, that can be a lot of different ways too. If you still have your chair, maybe it's a more lifted child's pose and you're letting your forehead and forearms rest on the seat of the chair. Or maybe you have your knees wide enough to make space for baby, your toes together, and you're resting down either to the floor or to a bolster or block. You just want to be able to let the forehead rest or an ear rest down. Start to feel held by the floor beneath you. And just relax into that support as best you can. Feel your sensations of contact with the floor. Start to soften at this transition point between you and the ground beneath you. Feel your breath moving through your body, guiding the body towards this softness, this release, this allowing rest. And let your mind stay focused in the breath and sensations in the body or with baby, or another point of focus that helps you feel grounded and calm. You put the ear to one side, go ahead and take your other ear down. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Deepening the breath a little bit here. Feeling the power of the breath as it nourishes us, as it helps us find relaxation, wakefulness. Such a helpful guide, along with essential nourishment for our life. ground beneath you. Notice your other surroundings. Just start to walk your hands back, walk yourself back. And come to a seated position. Maybe you're seated up on a cushion, bolster, a chair. Maybe you're seated on the floor. Finding yourself in this shape, just noticing how your body feels. Any sensations that are really vivid. Just know that you can always come back to a sense of the body, sense of baby, or sense of the breath when you need a moment to ground during the week. We'll take 2 last deep breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting the breath come back to its normal pace. Letting the eyes open if they've been closed. And you're all done. I hope that was a helpful practice for your body and your mind this week.